All right. Well, hey, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever the heck in the world you are. Thanks for joining us here on our Facebook platform. My name's Ray Mason. I'm the Director of Army Emergency Relief. I tell people this is the second best job I ever had. Best job being a battalion commander, 82nd. Can't beat that. Got my battle buddy here next to me.
My name is Charles Durr, and I serve as the Chief of Assistance for Headquarters Army Emergency Relief. And me and my 5 teammates are really the primary interface of the organization in terms of interacting with the 220 plus AER officers around the world. And what we would do is really help facilitate the financial assistance process.
So we're celebrating our 77th anniversary of our establishment. If you do the math, 1942, that's 77 years. And we're in the process of launching some new information to keep soldiers and their families 100% informed about AER. So it is AER Just Ask. We want to answer your questions, the questions you've got. So that's what this is about. That's what the follow-ons that we'll do each week is for you to come online, ask us a question, and we'll answer that and get back to you as soon as we can. So we got a couple questions already.
Sure.
So the first one is from a great soldier in the state of Arizona, and it goes right with what we're talking about. He says, is AER strictly for emergencies? I'm in need of a vehicle. So I'm going to let Charles kind of talk through vehicles, very common. So what do we do for soldiers with vehicle challenges?
So we don't help soldiers purchase vehicles, but we do help soldiers if they have a vehicle that is in need of repair and the cost of those repairs exceed the blue book value of that vehicle. We can provide assistance up to $4,000 to get them into a more reliable vehicle.
Yeah, so you got a car and we've all owned hoopties at some point, and you're putting a lot of money into that repair. Maybe it's time to buy a little better hoopty. Move up. So that's where your $4,000 comes in. Great question. Really appreciate that. I have another service disabled soldier, and it's kind of a similar kind of theme. He's saying, my car is costing me more than I thought. I'm not sure if I need help right now, but I might soon. What would you tell a soldier that has an issue that's emerging, may not be here yet, but...
Yeah. So just ask. And one of the things that I would say to you is to ensure that you understand our eligibility requirements, because you said that you are a soldier who is 100% disabled. So we do help disabled American veterans who are also medically retired, either permanently or temporarily, and they're receiving DFAS retirement pay. So I would say just ask and make sure that you verify the eligibility requirements, and we can certainly help you get into a more reliable vehicle.
Here's a question from an officer, and this is really important too. Look, AER doesn't matter if you're a private or you're an old general like me. You can come to AER. There is no rank piece to that. E01 through O10 are eligible to come in. Active duty and their families, retired soldiers and their families. If you're medically retired, receiving medical retirement pay, you are eligible to come to AER. And then Reserve and National Guard. If you're an active Guard Reserve, you are eligible for AER. For those that are drilling or other Title 32, when they're brought onto active duty for 30 days, you become eligible for AER. We can waive that. The great sergeant majors come in and talk to me and said, sir, we've got a natural disaster. We had the government shutdown recently, which is what this question's about. Can we support them? Absolutely. We waive that frequently, and we generally provide grants. So if you got more details on that, come in and ask us. We'll get you that answer. So what this Lieutenant Colonel said, hey, government shutdown, DOD wasn't impacted, Coast Guard was impacted significantly. Can AER help the Coast Guard? I think it's the right thing to do. What do we do? So the other services, Charles, how do we interface with the other services?
So absolutely, sir. Through a reciprocal support agreement we have with the other services, we service their service members, and certainly during this shutdown, we partner with the Coast Guard Mutual Assistance Society in providing assistance to Coast Guardsmen all around the world. Primarily that was focused on emergency travel. If it had to do with their specific pay, we would refer them back to Coast Guard Mutual Assistance Headquarters. But yes, through a reciprocal support agreement, certainly it's part of our partnership with the other military aid societies, and we provided great support to the Coast Guard during this shutdown period.
Yeah. So to kind of wrap this up, we've got our annual campaign kicking off March and April. We'd like to know what you're doing at your particular installation. If you come into our Facebook page, tell us what you're doing, you could get a pair of these highly coveted, much sought after Army Emergency Relief socks. There were literally thousands of people at the Army 10 miler wearing these socks. It became a big hit. We're going to continue to do this. These are pretty cool. So if you want some of these, come ask us. And There you go.
Just ask.
There you go. Just ask.